The GOP can still blow it. Noah writes about even heavily favored candidates can quickly shift based on who's running. You write in part, quote, Robert R.J. Reagan should have cruised to victory in a district that voted Republican by 26 points and which Donald Trump won by 16 points in 2020. The primary is all that should have mattered. But on Tuesday night, Reagan lost a special election to his Democratic opponent, and it wasn't particularly close. This cautionary tale could have broader relevance with primary season now fully upon us. In Tuesday's Senate primary race in Ohio, Trump-endorsed candidate J.D. Vance emerged victorious. It's entirely unclear which Vance Ohio's Republicans will get for their votes. The thoughtful, Ivy League-educated author and elite lawyer with somewhat nationalist sensibilities, or the ideologically malleable provocateur who never met a fringe figure he wouldn't legitimize. Whether Vance believes what he says or not, he has also spelunked down the same lunatic rabbit holes into which Reagan consigned his political career. J.D. Vance is not Robert Reagan, and the state of Ohio is not Michigan's 74th House district. Vance is the favorite to win his race in November, but so too was Reagan. The last thing the GOP should want is for local races to become referenda on individual candidates rather than an up or down vote on the Democrats' record in office. Despite the many advantages Republicans enjoy today, a bad candidate can still lose a winnable race.
That was Republican columnist Noah Rothman. And he's not the only conservative voicing concerns that would have been unimaginable just a few short weeks ago. Could the Republican Party really blow a 2022 election lead that should be a sure thing? Most polling still shows the party of Trump recapturing both the House and the Senate this November. But with the Supreme Court just weeks away from issuing a stunning abortion decision, many Republicans are now privately worried that the candidates carrying their banner may be too extreme for American voters.
But now we have Nancy Pelosi's gazpacho police spying on members of Congress, spying on the legislative work that we do, spying on our staff, and spying on American citizens that want to come talk to their representatives.
And abortion isn't Republicans' only worry. Across the country, GOP candidates are getting crazier. Just take Ohio Senate candidate J.D. Vance, who privately called Donald Trump America's Hitler before groveling for the former president's endorsement earlier this year. Vance energizes Donald Trump's loony base, but polls show he turns off more Ohioans than he attracts. And even Ohio Republicans worry Vance shows little knowledge or interest in what Ohio needs. And it doesn't help that Vance's candidacy and Trump's endorsement set off a civil war among Ohio Republicans who think Trump's love of loyalty over electability puts a key GOP Senate seat at risk. And if Republicans are worried about J.D. Vance embarrassing the party, they haven't seen anything yet. Take Pennsylvania Senate candidate Dr. Oz.
Do we love President Trump, Pennsylvania?
Oz is as close to a Trump clone as you can get, willing to say anything, do anything, and be anything to separate gullible, desperate people from their money. It's no surprise Trump fell in love with Oz, but once again, Trump's personal whims clash with Pennsylvania Republican voters, who've called Oz a fraud and a fake Republican with no actual connection to Pennsylvania. And worst of all, even some of Trump's closest MAGA allies have heaped scorn on Oz with one of the most damning phrases the movement has: fake MAGA. And this is where things get tricky. Just because Republicans are crazy doesn't mean they lose. Oz, Vance, and Trump's army of far-right clones are all backed by big money, much of it from Silicon Valley, and they're dominating the airwaves the same way Donald Trump did in 2016. The GOP is moving to the right at an alarming pace. Trump critics are firmly in the minority, while idiocy and insanity are no longer disqualifying traits in a candidate. In fact, they're absolutely essential to winning Donald Trump's endorsement. No matter what Democrats may want to believe about how politics works, no voters can swim through a sea of lies and willful misinformation and still emerge voting for the Democratic candidate just because they're objectively better. Activists are already treating Trump's army of far-right candidates as a real threat. Democratic leadership must do the same. Vance, Oz, and Trump may be national jokes, but their chances of winning make them no laughing matter. And a Senate with Dr. Oz and J.D. Vance taking orders from Mar-a-Lago is a Senate where no one's rights are safe. With abortion under direct assault and privacy rights undecided at the Supreme Court, it is essential that Democrats take these threats seriously. None of these candidates are too shameless to win. In fact, they are just shameless enough. It's up to Democrats to make the case against them.